Fear comes hunting you on all fours. Here's your look at the Hiya Toys Alien 3 Dog Alien Exquisite Mini. Exquisite Mini is a new standard settings series for 1/18 scale, featuring super articulation action figures under Hiya Toys. A bit strange, I'm sure, to see the dog alien standing on its hind legs like this, but the purpose of this pose is merely just to show you guys how tall the figure stands. While I'm doing this, by the way, I'd like to thank the folks over at Hiya Toys that did provide this sample of the dog alien from Alien 3 that we could have a look at in this review. The figure stands 4.5 inches in height, or it's about 11.5 centimeters tall. And while the dog alien is from Alien 3, we are going to slide over the figure just a little bit. Thank goodness it does have the wire-framed tail. That does allow the figure to stand pretty good on its own. I'm going to bring in a figure that's not from Alien 3, but it's only just to show you guys a comparison. This is the blowout alien from AVP. A bigger, bulkier figure. It's not as lean and lanky as maybe the Alien 3 dog alien, but at least it gives you an idea how really different the xenomorph designs are from one another. On to now the figure's accessories, and kind of a shame to see that the dog alien doesn't come included with some swappable hands or something other than just the display stand, because that is really the only thing it comes included with. As for the display stand, it is the same one we've seen before, the floor-graded design, with the one singular peg that's off to the far side here that you can display the figure on its hind legs, or again, you could probably display the figure on all fours, although it's not as successful as you would hope. The bottom of it, though, at least of the display stand, does have these grooves you can see on all the sides, ×2. And then you can take these eye brackets. You guys, I know I've already seen enough of this already, but take these eye brackets and you fit them into those slots. And then providing you have more than one display stand, you just connect on how many display stands you want to work with. And that will, of course, dictate just how big of a diorama scene that you have. Let's get the eye bracket off. We'll put that to the side. And yeah, like I said, the figure doesn't come included with other swappable hands. It usually is the case when we get ourselves a Xenomorph Exquisite Mini that swappable hands also sort of go with the territory, and not the case, unfortunately, here with the dog alien. So let's go ahead, pick the figure up, and get a closer look at it. I have always been a big fan of the Alien 3 dog alien. For me, at least, when I was celebrating my birthday so many years ago, Alien 3 first came out on VHS tape, and I remember watching it for my birthday. A very strange pick for me, at least of that age, to decide I wanted to watch Alien 3 for my birthday. I'm sure much to the chagrin of my parents as well, who were not forced to watch it, but I tried my best to convince them to watch it, to which they said, no. Getting, though, a closer look at the details on the figure, it's a really nice looking dog alien. I really like the design of dog alien too. It has, I'm going to go ahead and bring back in, although blown at the back there, you can see it has a much smaller dome than, say, the alien here from AVP. Head sculpts are about the same. It has certainly a much smaller looking jaw size. And like all other aliens, you can actually open up the jaw, tap it ever so slightly, and inside the slightly smaller chompers right there. The only thing missing from this equation would be Ellen Ripley right here. And the alien, of course, hovering over top of it. I really like the coloring on this one, too. A different, also, departure from what we traditionally think of for aliens when you think usually black and the blues. This is really all more kind of relegated to the browns, and it really does look quite good. The domed helmet, I'm going to show you here, is slightly frosted. Not to the point where you can't still see the details and the skeletal frame of it underneath. I think the dome they've handled quite well here. And yeah, the detailing on this figure is quite good. The thing about this figure, though, is it's a bit disappointing in the sense that you can't really quite get it on all fours. I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but I guess before we do that, I just want to also show you the sculpt work that they've also incorporated into a very more smaller framed alien. Much longer limbs and much thinner limbs than what we traditionally expect for a xenomorph. I do also like the fact that they've added a nice shine coat to this, a clear coat finish that really allows it to give it that almost mucousy, wet, slimy look that we're used to seeing with the dog alien. Really like the way that this one looked. Now, the thing about this figure is it doesn't have really the option to have its head looking upright. This was a concern expressed by some collectors out there. There is also technically an Alien 3 dog alien that has a looked up head sculpt, which basically is just like this type of head sculpt, but it's going to be slightly tilted backwards. We're going to be looking at that figure in an upcoming review. as it certainly goes for a stock head sculpt, even though it does have limitations when it comes to head moving backwards. I mean, that's to the extent of really what you can do with the head sculpt. It can look down fine, but if you wanted to have it like in a running pose, this is where it's going to have a bit of a shortcoming to it, just because the head can't tilt as far back as you would hope. The arms, of course, when it comes to the arms, you can bring those forward as well. So if you did want to have it in a running pose, that's successful. At least this part is successful. Problem with the legs, though, is it just doesn't have enough of the necessary articulation to successfully have a convincing pose of it on its hind legs. It succeeds okay here with the double hinge joint in the knees, but what it fails, unfortunately, is with the hind legs. There's a hinge joint here that allows it to be on its hind legs standing upright. But if you did want to have it in a running or crouching pose, kind of like it would have been in the film, you really can't bend enough this section, and you certainly can't bend enough on its back ankle joint. That's as far that you can get it. So if you did want to have it like in a running pose, for example, I'm just going to kind of do my best here. Right here is fine, but like I said, right here is where it sort of comes. It's a bit underwhelming. Like it just can't get that proper bend that you really want to get. You kind of have to compensate it by bringing the arms more straighter forward. But even then, it doesn't look like it really does the job successfully enough of making it look like it's running. And I think really where it falls short is just more so the fact that you can't hinge the head sculpt as far enough back as I would have wanted it. For, though, the articulation, though, on the dog alien, we're going to start things off first in all the places that we always usually start these reviews. The head sculpt. Head does look down. And just by the way, bringing it up a bit, you can see that's where it's attached to the ball joint. But you can already see the limitations when it comes to the ball joint. This is as far forward as the head can look. This is as far back as the head can look. And it can also rock back and forth this way as well. The mouth does open and close, as we've already established. If you kind of have to want the jaw a little bit further back, kind of have to shake it a little bit to get the proper jaw to close, the outside jaw to close. And again, you just open that up, drop the inside mouth, be able to bring that out like that. So yeah, there's technically articulation there as well. Upper torso is on a very nice, generous ball joint. The arms can comfortably come out at 90 degrees. And you can take those arms and, yeah, rotate them all the way around. There's a single bend only in the elbow. That also allows the forearm to rotate back and forth. And equally so, you can also take the hands and rotate them all the way around as well. The plastic, by the way, on the individual fingers, which we didn't get the chance yet to look at, is a more softer plastic. Again, no swappable hands in this instance. And then, of course, when it comes to the legs are on pin joints. So you can, first of all, take these arms, get them out of the way. But you can take the legs and you can rotate them all the way around. The legs hinge out, only slightly a bit. You can take then again the knees. There's a double hinge happening there on the knees. But again, unfortunately, this part right here is where you can't get that full bend in the leg. In a perfect world, you'd be able to bend it this way, and then you'd be able to bring the leg down this way and get it in a better successful running pose. But it just unfortunately can't do that. What it does have is sort of just a pin hinge joint, but only hinges to that extent. They would have to have made that a lot longer here. We'd be able to bend the ankle a lot better than what it is right now. And then the bottom of the foot also does have a swivel joint. It doesn't seem to be. There's a hinge joint right there, but very, very minor hinge joint. And it doesn't do enough of a job, I think, of successfully bending the figure. And of course, yeah, the dog alien does have, like all the other alien figure we've looked at before, does have the wireframe tail, which certainly does come rather in handy. A very long tail, too. I mean, if you look at extending this out as far as I can get it, there we go. I mean, when you're looking at it, it's at least the length of the figure and then just a little bit more. But the wireframe's tail certainly does come in handy, not only if you want to get in a more interesting pose, but it certainly does also benefit these figures when it comes to if you wanted to, for example, to display the dog alien on its hind legs, as we certainly started things off in the beginning of this review with. That tail certainly does come in handy. And you sort of just bend the tail to get it to the right stance that you get it. And of course, if you have any problems with these figures standing anyways, the wireframe tail certainly comes in handy, but then there's also the display stand, which we just started this review with. Go ahead and take the figure, the peg holes on the undersides of his feet, and just plug in at least one of the feet, because there's only one peg on these display stands after all. Just plug it in place, and then you can get your dog alien on display. Now, as I already mentioned, there is two versions of the dog alien. The one that we looked at in this review is the standard release dog alien, but there's also a follow-up release that Hiya Toys did as well, with the head notably higher up, or allowing to reach further back. That dog alien is actually more suitable for the running pose because at least, unlike this one, you could hinge the neck backwards further and have at least the dog alien being able to look forward, going after, of course, the prey that it has, or it's chasing, in Alien 3. For fans of Alien 3, and I know it's few and far between, that did want to pick up the Exquisite Mini of the dog alien and actually put it on all fours running around in the tunnels of the prison, you really can't do that, unfortunately, with this release. Fear not, though, there is actually an Alien 3 dog alien look up version, which I think is the same figure as this one right here, which we will be looking at in an upcoming review, and I'll do comparisons back and forth between the two figures, where if you did want to have it in a running pose, at least the dog alien would be able to see where it's going. For the time being, though, I do like the details done to this particular piece that maybe for right now, I might just display the dog alien on its hind legs. Not more the traditionally route of what I would consider the dog alien to be on its hind legs like this, but I do think the work that they've put into this piece, whether it has the ability to look up or not, it is a really nice looking xenomorph figure that Hiya Toys has produced here. A more leaner looking alien than what we traditionally see, with a longer tail as well, and the brown coloring that they've added to the surface of the plastic here is different enough from the rest of the aliens that maybe is one of the reasons why I think the dog alien is one of my personal favorites. Just always stood out from the rest of the xenomorph designs, going away from the idea of the more, not bulkier, because they're definitely, xenomorphs have never been a bulky alien anyways, but this one definitely is a more thinner looking alien, and the proportions seem a little more stretched out than what we traditionally get with a big chap or the alien warrior. Yeah, big fan of the dog alien. I'm not just saying that either because I watched Alien 3 on my birthday. I can't believe I tried to sell my parents on the idea of watching Alien 3 on my birthday. I think I had burritos that night as well. Burritos and Alien 3, they probably just thought to themselves, what, he picks like the worst things that we could be doing to celebrate his birthday. Burritos, Alien 3. What do you guys think of the Alien 3 dog alien? Let me know down below in the comments section. Pretty good looking figure. It's short on comings when it comes to at least the be able to pose it in all fours, but at least it really does make for a nice looking figure to be putting on display. And thank goodness it does have those display stands. One thing I continue to credit Hiya Toys for doing is including display stands with all of their releases, that if you can't get the figures properly to stand on their own, use the display stands. They're included in there in the first place. But yeah, what do you guys think of the dog alien? Let me know down below in the comment section. And once again, a big thank you to the folks over at Hiya Toys that did provide the sample of the Alien 3 Dog Alien Exquisite Mini that we could have a look at in this review. For your video question for today, it's a pretty simple one. Did you guys like Alien 3? I know it's not quite what we originally were supposed to be getting with Alien 3. I think the original concept was like a wood planet with priests. Never got that. We got a prison planet instead. But I actually like Alien 3, and I'm not just saying that because I watched it on my birthday. But what do you guys think of Alien 3? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you are new to this channel, you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on as well the bell notification. And at the very end of this video, popping up will be a playlist of all other things that I've looked at for Hiya Toys. If you have a little bit of time on your hands and you like this size and scale of figures, I would certainly encourage you guys, if you get a little bit of chance and opportunity on your hands, watch that playlist. It covers off all the territory of all the other Hiya Toys Exquisite Minis that I've looked at over the years. Lots of stuff coming your way, and like I said, as promised, we are going to be looking at also the looked up version of Alien 3's Dog Alien. So that's going to be coming your way as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.